Anyways, let's not get into all that stuff. What's up, Bernie?
Hello. Enjoying. I was enjoying the 9/11 rants because you truly do the best of those because it needs. It's
It
what?
just
Oh,
needs to be said, man,
yeah.
and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not going to ever back down from speaking the truth, and I don't think anybody else should be either. We should all be, upfront and as forward as possible with this truth, and not be afraid to speak it anymore because the facts are on our side, and we'll win that debate if we just if we have those facts and the knowledge of them. Um, this is what I was talking about with the truncation. Here's the cube. There's a quarter way truncated, halfway truncated, three quarters of the way truncated, and then fully truncated. It becomes the octahedron. Isn't that cool?
Right. And so that I believe actually might tie into what Howard thinks he's saying in regards to octaves and phase conjugation, and how eventually we'll be able to do this cold fusion through acoustics and like the heart of the technology that he's trying to claim that we're all trying to figure out and work on. But if you're showing a drone, you're not that's still powered by fans. That's not anti-gravity, so don't try to claim that you got it.
Yeah, no, that's not a UFO, man. That's a little helicopter. It's a drone. It's not a UFO. So don't say you have UFO propulsion technology if you got a little helicopter. Exactly. So these are different types of polyhedra and different cells, and these are called Coxeter-Dinkin diagrams, which represent the vertex structure, and it will tell you all the different ones with the P, Q, and R values. So this is the math that Goodwill Hunting was doing on the chalkboard as the janitor outside the MIT. When he solved the problem, he
Oh
was
wow.
doing Coxeter-Dinkin diagram solutions and group theory stuff. So that's a whole other branch of mathematics, which is involved deeply in how crystals form and how crystal structures form. So it's not just this one thing that he's got, and that's all crystals, and that's every crystal in the whole. We got all kinds of different crystals. We got diamond lattices. I wish I had some more of my crystals with me. This is a diamond lattice. You can see like certain angles, like this angle and this angle, you can see all the way through.
That's so cool.
And then every quarter angle, like you can see through, even on the. Yeah, it's super cool. And this is like super lightweight. It doesn't use very much plastic at all, and it's wicked strong. I mean, for plastic. Anyways, yes, this is So we got a Kaida got a super chat in there. Oh, here we are. How come there is no concept of zero in any of the ancient language from Aztec to Greek? No civilization utilized the concept of zero. We're highly advanced in physics and astronomy, which required calculation. I'm maybe mistaken, but I think that I mean, how ancient are we talking? So Aztec to Greek. So Greek and zero. They knew it as a concept, but didn't think of it as a number. Yeah, right. So you couldn't divide by zero. They knew that, and yeah, they used the oval to represent nothing.
Shiva the Destroyer says the Mayans invented zero. What fascinates me is the Babylonians and their base 12 system, right? It's just
Yeah,
it's
base number systems are cool. So you could have like binary is base two. So you have zeros and ones. That's how your computers talk. So you run out of bits. You have to go up to the next space, You know, those number systems are quite interesting. Of course, 10 is the easiest to use and just makes the most sense, and it's easiest to divide by and multiply. and do that with. So that's why we use 10. You have the 10 fingers.
Right. Well, and just going full conspiracy there with the 10 fingers and us 10, and then there's all these stories of giants with 6 fingers, and well, all these depictions of Babylonians being giants.
Yeah,
Is that
maybe
why they were 12?
that's why they had the 6 base number system. They only had 6 fingers to count with. So
Who knows?
yeah, or they just missed their middle finger, right? Anyways, yeah, it's there's so much deeper math to learn if you really want to get into like high level math and study high level cool awesome math. There's a lot of cool math to learn. That's way cooler than square root of 2 and all that very basic stuff that he's trying to. I don't know, man.
I just want to know
I-
how you can get from the whatever he showed, these like colored like little polygons or something, and said this is Jesus walking on water. Like,
Yeah, I know,
like
man. I know. I don't get it. And he said this is the grand unified field theory. And it's just like, yeah, you're blowing Joe Rogan's mind. He doesn't know what to say to this, but every physicist watching this is doing the face palm. You know? I wonder.
You could argue that in binary, you could use any 2 numbers to represent on and off 1 and 2. So that's an interesting concept that, like, maybe that's a breakthrough right there.
They just use placeholders instead of numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's what calculus essentially is, no?
I like this idea of projecting the flower of life into 3D, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're just getting, there's a dual, you're just getting that's an octahedron, right? Yeah, that's an octahedron. If you just map the points on it, it's just an octahedron. So you're back to the basic Platonic solids and stuff, and you haven't explained how to get the pentagon and where the whole phi relationship with Fibonacci sequence and golden ratio, all that's big part of sacred geometry connected in there too.
I come to understand the overall most relevance out of that, if you want to go back to that image quickly there, see this right here. So this black space, that represents the dark matter space, and then all the spheres that are missing, that are the circles that make up the circle of life there, that is your field forces. That's the energy of the visible universe, and then that's the correlation between how you get in between dark energy and real energy, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, he made some other point about how, like, if you count up all the points, if you map this whole thing out and then you count up all the points, it's 137 of them. And I'm just like, well, how does that make any sort of like physical mathematical sense of the fine structure constant and where it appears in nature? And I just couldn't, it just does not compute. We've gotten such better understandings of 100 of that number and what it means physically through our APEC discussions, that like I feel like this has just taken us a huge step backwards from everything we figured out over the last year or two on APEC. And
this is true.
And then this guy comes on and is like, I got the secrets. I envisioned them through my dreams by going to this library in my dream that has, the book of all the knowledge in the world in it. And it's just in my dreams, and I can go there and read it. And it has, the better chemistry that's, but I don't see him inventing new chemicals or new chemistry stuff, man.
It's a lot of claims with not a lot to go off of. And it's like, okay, well, come engage us and show us the practicalities of what you're trying to claim.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
right, because like if they actually were able to use this simulation to generate the rings and the hexagon on Saturn without putting in gravity, but with the complexity of what he's claiming on it without there being like just some cheat within that system, then yeah, there's something to look at there. But we need to be able to have this to now actually access and apply and play with, right?
That's another one too, man. Is you ever heard Dan Winter before?
Yeah, lots of Dan Winter. And it's like, so he's essentially like bridging a lot of Dan Winter's stuff with Nassim Haramein stuff. And it's
Oh
like,
yeah, he got
so
Joe Rogan. He's got the Marco Rodin and who's that other
yeah,
guy?
it's like
Randy Powell
either
and all
he
that stuff.
just took everyone
Just all the
else's
pseudoscience
stuff
mixed
and
up.
like came up with a jumble of BS of his own, or he might actually be on to linking them together. But I wouldn't put all my money in that nest.
Yeah, and I just don't get this whole the square root of 2 equals 1, dude. No, it doesn't. Square root of 2 equals like 1.414 or something. So yeah, I get it. I get it, Mike. In fact, Michael Boyd, I see you out there, man. I sent you an invite in your email. I sent a couple people to be part of the. I was gonna put a panel together to really, maybe we can get some other people. Dan Winter sounds like a word salad to me when I listen to Dan Winter, man. He sounds like he does not know terminology or.
And then he starts going into like the Dracos and this and that, and it's man, you can't go that esoteric if you're trying to teach science. Like, come on, how are we supposed to take it seriously?
I think he's. I would invite Dan Winter to come on with some of my math friends and lay out his stuff down. I don't think he will. In fact, I've connected with some people that know Dan Winter, and I've tried to get him on, and he's just not. He knows.
He knows not.
Yeah,
might
dude,
get exposed.
I mean, we know our shit on this. I mean, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a lot of this stuff because it's super interesting. It's always been super interesting to me. You know what I mean? So
right, and that a lot of these people, sure, they do make certain little breakthroughs, but then they try to advertise it as I've solved everything. Now come flock to me like a cult.
Well, this is an amazing thing if this works. If you can get excess energy out of, liberating water.
Right? Like that's literally what caught my mind.
To me. I'm willing to entertain this and look further into this, especially you got a Journal of Plasma Physics citing here. That's good stuff, man. That's what we need is.
Okay. I have to bring up, and can you look up and find, I swear it was like 4 or 5 days ago on physics.org, they published that they've now found a new elemental particle that is smaller than hydrogen, that is just electrons, and it's exactly the same one that was predicted by Walter Russell over 100 years ago in his periodic tables. And that Walter Russell there's like 20 different periodic tables by Walter Russell. There's not just the spiral one. That's the key aspect. And it's all different diagrams of how you take the periodic table out of a torus, essentially. But the breakthrough on a new particle that is below hydrogen, that is just electrons.
So, you can do fluid flow equations for a vortex and then compare them to Marco Rodin's absolute nonsense, fake mathematics. I have a video. I gotta find some of the videos of Marco Rodin, man. Like,
and this right here, this is a key. Dead fish cheese spread. Beryllium doesn't split water into O2 and nitrogen. It doesn't react to water at all. So that's like a huge part of his claim.
He was, right? I think, right. Well, maybe he got the metal wrong or something, but I don't know. I don't know. That's definitely what he said. So, yeah, the Rodin coils do not work. They don't do anything special. That I just talked to. They're focusing coils.
And the Rife coils don't work even more than the Rodin coils.
Energy from that. You know how many Rodin coils my friends and me have built, dude? Like, and we did this years ago. So you're talking to like this stuff's his mathematics is nonsense. Okay, he claims that he got it from these studying these ancient scriptures and sources and stuff. There's nothing there. There's this thing that he puts the 3, 6, and 9 on this number chart, and then says he relates it to Tesla, and then it's mapped out over some structure. Dude, that's not. It's not any type of
dig up Stan Myers. Stan Myers is the one that made the breakthrough that we need, that is turning water into hydrogen on spot and possibly over Unity.
Yeah, Stan Meyer might have been on something. That is an interesting thing. I'll entertain, because that guy, they poisoned him, and I know they poisoned a lot of other people or bought them off that claim they got free energy or other technology. So definitely something interesting going on with that. But I've been through the Marco Rodin stuff. I've met Marco Rodin, have had conversations with him. He's a fraud, and he's full of shit.
He's schizophrenic, to say the least.
100% full of shit. Okay? I think you're missing the point of Rodin. I think Rodin is missing the point of, like, everything mathematics. I think the guy doesn't understand jack shit about mathematics or higher mathematics. I think that you people that want to tell me I'm missing part of the puzzle, man, I have a degree in math, okay? I can solve if me and Marco Rodin sat down next to each other and we took our GRE, a graduate record examination, college physics math, okay, I guarantee you I would smoke him. I would smoke him so hard and bad. He wouldn't even compare the test results. Okay. So I just letting you people know it's not math. It's not math at all.
He says he's doing a larger toroidal magnet or magic square. So that's something to look into, in the aspect that it's also a huge claim of the Searle effect, is this magic square aspect of it. I don't know. Magic squares are called magic for a reason. I don't know.
Yeah, it's nonsense, okay? There's absolutely nothing there. And, you know, if you want to learn vortex based mathematics, right?
Where's anything applicable, right? Like, okay, so if that is the case, where's the magic results out of this after him doing it for 20 years?
Or where's the coil that does anything? Or where's anything that's been produced out of this? Because, you know, Marco Rodin, I was at Tesla Tech back in 2009. You know, so he's had 15 years to work on this stuff, man. So, you know, and the other thing is, I want to get Nassim. I don't know what's up with Nassim Harriman, but
I like Nassim. I would like a chance to talk to him to actually see, because I've got a lot of questions.
He's been a very controversial figure in physics because of a lot of the claims he's made about grand unification and unified field theory in physics. But you know, he was working with some brilliant physicists, though, like Elizabeth Rauscher, who's I believe no longer with us. So some of the physicists on his team, you know, he may have had some interesting insights, but of course, not everything Nassim says I agree with either. You know, the idea that it's fractal all the way down. No, it's not. You get to the Planck level, and it's something else that goes on there, and it's not repeating all the way down. There's something else. So I just, you know, and then Nassim really lacks a lot of the. He lacks a lot of the background physics knowledge and stuff, because he's messed up a lot of like the explanations of quark theory and other basic elementary particle physics theory. He just didn't have the real knowledge of that stuff. But apparently he's got some funding, and they're building some stuff. You know, he's got some pictures he's been posting it with these pretty big vacuum chambers in the background, and some pretty interesting scientific equipment that they've got working there. I don't know. It would be cool to interview him and check this stuff out, because a lot of physicists have criticized him, called him a charlatan and a fraud, and all that stuff. And you know, I've given.
It would be good to interview all of these individuals, and it's just whether they're willing to come on and actually be scrutinized and actually trying to explain what
I'm not
they
going to
claim, right?
If Marco comes on, I'm not going to say he's a fraud right out. I'm not going to just say that like I did here. I'm going to really dig into every claim, all the mathematics, all the science, all that stuff, and we're really going to hash it out. And I'm not going to use those kind of summary. I'm just trying to summarize this for people that are into this stuff. A lot of people watching this stuff who are new to this, having no idea what this stuff is, just getting into it or think they understand it. And I just trying to help people not wasted their time,
or get their hopes up or get misled and start forming a fan cult and, stuff that put your energy into what will actually change the world.
Dude, I'm not the Pope, man. And I'm not giving Galileo a hard time. I'm giving him a platform and a whole team of skeptical scientists that are open-minded that he could easily convince if he has the evidence. So not at all what we're doing. I never set up a Inquisition or a Catholic Church or any of that stuff, man. We're just here to try to get real information and say, like, well, not everything they teach in academia is a lie and is false. Some really smart people figured out a lot of really interesting, smart stuff that isn't taught in regular school. Your public school education didn't teach you this stuff, and now you think it's a conspiracy and there's some huge thing going on. It's I don't know. It's, again, a lot of they just had shitty teachers. I had terrible math teachers in public school. They didn't know any of this stuff, man. So, yes. Anyone else? We got Mike. Mike's right here with us. Mike, what's up, Mike? Can't hear you. Jeremy takes terms as he likes to see them and then skips 10 steps and calls it a debunk. Dude, when I've done debunks, they're very, very fucking thorough and full of facts. You should get your shit straight.
Yes.
Like when I do a debunk, I go all in. I go hard. So,
1, 2. Yeah, can you hear me?
You guys are full of shit, man. Yeah, I can hear you. I want anyone else who thinks that has anything.
The only
else?
thing I can talk on physics is that cannot be argued, and I can explain it clearly, is the 90-degree angle. When you have the 90-degree curve, you have the most distance with the most force at that, not curve, sorry, angle. Using the gravitational force, you'll achieve the most forward, and everybody knows this. We drive cars, So if you roll a ball down a 90-degree angle with that angle will take the most advantage of the most available gravitational force there is for that ball at that 90-degree angle. If you give it any more of an angle, more vertical and straight down, it's not going to get any more force of the gravity, and you're going to lose forward motion. You're going to go straight down. You're not going to go this way. You're going to go this. You're not going to move forward horizontally.
Here's the question:
the 90-degree angle gets you the maximum horizontal distance as well as the maximum gravitational force at that angle to go that distance. I mean, anybody went up a mountain and down a mountain, you know that. So you can't argue that. And that's all I can say about physics, From there, I expand.
Well, how much of gravitational force is actually inertial force?
The maximum is achieved at the 90-degree angle. And you go to 89 degrees, and you don't get any more gravitational force than you would get at 90. You get the same amount all the way to 0, but you lose forward motion. Forward motion. The triangle.
The vast majority, kiddo.
Forward motion. Gravity
majority
makes you do that. So you roll a ball downhill at 90 degrees, you're going to take advantage of everything gravity has to offer that ball. If you roll that ball at 89 degrees, you're losing forward motion and you're not gaining any gravitational force.
So
In my
none of these
opinion.
people have unified theory of none of these people have unified gravity and showed what gravity is.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a guest on my show. I've got a guy coming on.
Gravity seems
for
to
a
be
while.
related to the angular angles.
So if there's like some unified field where everything's this geometric unity and we hit all the angles right, maybe. But there's a whole other thing though. Is gravity is such a hard problem, man.
Well, I mean, not really, because at 90 degrees, the ball is getting the maximum effect of the gravity. If you go to 89 degrees, you're not getting any more gravity force. You're getting the same you got at 90. What you're losing is 1 degree of forward motion.
That's interesting, though, because that would also have to go back into Roman numerals, trying to answer Kidda's question, and how did they do all of their mathematics without zero? Because they did.
Let me go on the record. I never studied physics.
And they
per
used
se,
Roman
like,
numerals.
really.
They didn't use our system of numbers. They used a different one.
Yeah, these Roman numerals. Yeah.
So that's actually a very complex question, and that story, Kidda, that question's going to cost more than $10 to answer, because that is actually a very fundamental, huge question you have brought up there, and it is worth a lot more than $10 to, if anyone can actually answer that.
So there's a channel, as I mentioned this channel before. I'm going to just bring it up again because they're awesome. But you guys should check out Numberphile, and he's got a whole bunch of videos on zero, problems with zero. This one's from 11 years ago. It's a good one. He brings up a bunch of different stuff. And
well, it's two different complete systems, so then it's like you're bringing up this is actually something that really needs to be answered and thought about, because it does bring up quite the complexity, and it actually also brings up the possibility that Terrence might not be wrong, that there is another system where 0 times 1 equals 1 or something. I don't know, but if they because the Romans and the Roman numerals and that whole system didn't use 0 at all, so that's actually quite a complex issue and thought right there.
they also weren't super deep into number theory, so like a lot of those areas of mathematics weren't really developed.
Yeah, but they used the sacred geometric models, which were full analog models, and then it's like, this is bringing up the question, is simpler better? I'd say no, because then they wouldn't have computers doing this, and we wouldn't all be talking to each other and going in the digital age and all the rest of it. So there's that aspect, but yeah.
And if anyone can find me the Blender file that Terrence Howard used to make that Blender render of the Saturn's rings and the hexagon, I want to dig into that, because that's our data. And
that's huge, because if in fact there's something to that and they were able to actually do it without using gravity as a factor, that's very perplexing.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know. I'm curious to see what comes of that. It would be, everyone wants to take credit for being able to explain that hexagon on Saturn, because it's just such a mind bender,
Isn't it also explained by hypertoroidal physics, or what was his name? The dude with the Cydonia studies.
Yeah, dude, there was so many little things. We don't have time to literally go through that entire 3 hour. I don't have 3 hours to go through everything that he said, man, because it was a lot of
Right.
stuff, dude.
He literally listed like 1,000 different rabbit holes. Like,
I love this, dude. How there's always someone that like, oh, you're just
yes,
jealous.
Richard Hoagland theory. Thank you.
Oh, Richard Hoagland, that guy.
I got a
was,
question about Einstein's
Hypertoroidal
formula.
physics or whatever it was. And
he was the master of just spinning, words together, and man, he could you'd ask him anything, and he'd just bullshit an explanation, man. Like that guy was a master.
Still,
Yeah.
I still thank him for bringing up Cydonia, and that I think there's something to the face of Mars and those pyramidal buildings that are arranged.
That'd be so cool if
Just
there were pyramids on the moon and a sphinx that looks upwards at us. That would be awesome, man. I love that idea, but
why does the quality of the resolution of what NASA is able to broadcast back to us keep getting shittier each decade? That's a question that needs to be answered.
Yeah, dude. Though there's definitely something going on there, and that fake Arrow office was not going to get to the bottom of any of that stuff, man. That was I loved how, how pissed off Stephen Greenstreet was that Tim Burchett said they're lying to us. He's like, oh, they're lying to us after that report came out, man. But I really wish I could get 10, 15 minutes with Tim Burchett to really lay it down on him about how they're lying to us and just how deep it goes with all this, so that he could come up with a better explanation for all that, because that was just the Arrow Resolution Office, right? The Arrow office run by Sean Kirkpatrick, okay, comes out later that Sean Kirkpatrick's connected to SAIC. So he's, scientific defense contractor, one of these inside deep state organizations. And he's headed this fake office that looks at Arrow anomalies and tries to form resolutions to them. We have no office that oversights, the technology. We have no office that looks into organizations like the Battelle Memorial Institute, who I talk about quite often. The Battelle Memorial Institute basically looks like a container organization. It's a quasi-governmental organization, which means it has all of the security clearances and powers of a governmental organization, but it's a private nonprofit institute. So it has none of the oversights a normal governance institution would have. That means you can't FOIA information. You can't file a FOIA and get information from Battelle on anything. Yet they manage all of our national labs. So they have contracts to manage all of our national laboratories, which is just
a crime in itself.
That's anything that gets invented at our national labs gets scooped up by these patent holding companies run by Battelle, and it never sees the light of day. So any free energy or anti-gravity stuff is going to get scooped up by this container organization. It's going to get held inside there, and it's going to be unfoyable, unsearchable, and unknown, completely invisible to our government and our leaders and our oversight committees in government who don't even have access to this stuff. And that's how it's been set up since the 1940s, when they stovepiped all the Manhattan Project business so that they could cover, keep all that deep underground with the Manhattan Project. So they knew what they were doing about keeping things secret and out of the prying eyes of government oversight back then. And this organization still exists, man. It's been around for 100 years. So you want to talk about an organization that could be hiding all the evidence of aliens?
Didn't Battelle make toys and stuff like that?
No, that's Mattel.
Oh.
Motherly Battelle makes the toys from what Battelle sends them.
No, that's Barbie is made by Mattel. But yeah, Battelle Institute is in Ohio, and it's only 40 minutes from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So a lot of people.
Do you have footage, Bim Jim? That's quite the experience claim.
And they help with the COVID tests, dude. In fact, they got paid check this out. They received a $400 million contract from the Defense Logistics Agency to redo friggin' masks. So they decontaminated 5 million masks with an average of $31 per mask. Okay, and they got all the taxpayers' money. We paid Battelle to recycle and decontaminate masks. Okay, now the masks that they decontaminated contain these fibers that gave everybody cancer and fucked up their lungs. And we spent $31 per mask. They could have just bought a new fucking mask for like 10 or 15 bucks. Fucking goddamn government idiots, and the spending is just so ridiculous and stupid.
Yeah, Jeremy, would you say it's the Democrats that do all those crazy spending, or the Republicans? This is like still not figured out.
Well, it's a two-party. The deep state does not know color or have any allegiance to that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of them that don't care and will play both sides of that puzzle, and we'll wear the sheep's clothing of whatever team to win the
Aside
election.
from the deep state, like.
But
is it the Democrats that are doing all the crazy spending, or is it the Republicans that are just throwing money up in the air?
It's all money laundering.
Stupid spending going on everywhere. You hear all these stupid stories on spending money, and it's a scam to just pocket money somehow.
No, a lot of it is. They've pocketed all kinds of money. I just know that if I had, they probably stole the money and spent it on yachts and hookers and blow and stuff for all we know. But if I had 30 trillion, man, I'd have a space program and some pretty sweet.
There's no oversight on taxpayer dollars.
None.
I know. It's pretty. It's
worse than we're at the point.
That's why we need to decentralize blockchain our
point of the
payment
Soviet
system.
Union's collapse. It's getting that bad, because who the fuck can afford $20,000 a hammer, $30,000 for a toilet seat? And now, because they've sanctioned the world, the American dollar is set to
hold on.
collapse.
Did you guys know that Lithuania is the only country that has blockchain voting?
Doing what?
What?
Lithuania is the only country in the world that you can vote on a decentralized blockchain platform for your president.
How the fuck did we get to Lithuania? What were we just
Well, I mean, Putin is after, these countries, one of which is, Lithuania, where you have an open democratic, vote system, no corruption going on. It's all blockchained. And, Putin's corrupt. He's going, Bernie's bringing up the communist thing. I'm just saying, if we had a blockchain voting system that was decentralized, we have less likely of any corruption.
No, that's actually true. We need an open, everybody needs to be able to
oversight. The blockchain is the oversight that we need.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
Did you guys hear about the treasure they found? They found that Civil War gold.
Blockchain every tax dollar that is appropriated. Put that on the blockchain.
Mike, I don't give a fuck about that. All right.
The FBI stole their gold, and not just
Check
little
this
gold.
out.
$500 million worth of gold. Confederate soldiers allegedly buried it in the middle of rural Pennsylvania as the Civil War ended.
These guys were looking for the Civil War missing gold,
and
they found it. They found it. They said, we got a huge hit. There should be 14 tons of gold buried on the ground here. They went over it with all their yeah, I know, for real. I'm sorry, I could only take so much, dude. Stay on fucking topic, dude. Where we go from this to Lithuania to fucking, just shut up, dude. I'm sorry, Mike. I love you, buddy, but you drive me fucking nuts.
Have been searching.
These guys found 14 fucking tons of gold in Pennsylvania, right where around where the missing Civil War shipment went through. Right? They called the FBI. The FBI came down there. Sent teams. The FBI wouldn't let them in the area. The FBI originally promised, you'll be there when we dig everything up. They wouldn't let them in the area. They made them go down the street
for dense,
and they filmed them coming out of there with gold trucks. They found the gold. They took the FBI, stole the gold and covered it up.
But when the Paradas got there,
can you be more corrupt? All right, can we finally put the FBI on trial and get rid of them? They literally just got caught stealing the Civil War gold.
All right, Kem.
They literally found 14 tons of gold under there. They called the FBI. The FBI came in, kicked them out, cordoned off the whole place, and then stole the fucking gold. It's insanity.
And larceny,
Our
larceny,
FBI are-
right there, and the cover up,
my
and
God.
all of it. It's time the FBI gets raided, shut down, and
You
to jail.
trust your government that much, dude? Oh my God, this is insane, dude. Yes, exactly. I would dig it all myself. I would at least document it and show it out there and be like, look, we found the gold. Here it is, so that the FBI can't. They lie and said we didn't find anything. There was nothing there. Dude, it is so.
They are the Gestapo. They are the Gestapo. That is all the FBI are at this point. It is ridiculous. They have never been so corrupt, and now caught stealing the Civil War gold. You heard it here first. Well, actually, you heard it on your news, but they didn't really tell you the significance.
Like, and no one. Who do you gonna call and be like, "Yo, the FBI stole my gold"? Who do you call?
Right? Like, exactly.
It's so
CIA. Oh, actually, maybe the CIA. Hey, CIA, go get your cut. See if the FBI will pay you your cut. Oh,
now,
did you get cut out?
The former head of the FBI is a guy named Louis Freeh, and Louis Freeh is now the attorney for Bandar bin Sultan, who's the Saudi Arabian diplomat that funded 9/11, that funded the 9/11 hijackers. So he's now the lawyer for the 9/11 ringleader. The former head of the FBI, and he was a longtime Jeffrey Epstein client. Flew on Lolita Express and part of the whole Pizzagate connection.
Right, and gold Civil War coins are worth a lot.
And now they stole all the gold war.
Yeah.
No, it's not, dude. The gold was right there in Pennsylvania. These guys researched it. They mapped it out. They did the research for like 40 years. They tracked down the gold. They found it. And they turned it over to the FBI. The FBI stole it all.
This story's been going on for a while. Like, this was like a year ago or something, like that it first started going down. And like now it's like just finally starting to make the news that, oh yes, the FBI did steal it. They did, yeah.
Yes, dude. Yes, they're corrupt criminals, man. They're the worst. The agency is like so bad, dude. All they do is they cover up and protect.
Like, is anyone going to go to jail for stealing the Civil War gold?
They made big money. They all got paid off. Everyone got a big cut, and they're all like living in retirement, dude. And by the way, Louis Freeh is also the guy that scheduled the company retreat for the entire counterterrorism task force. Was flown to Monterey, California, the week of 9/11 for a company retreat. How convenient to have
all of a sudden it's like, get a Civil War gold coin if you vote for Biden.
Get a Civil War coin with your pledge of $1,000 to the Joe Biden campaign. Louis, it's all free money. Dude, it is so crazy. Yeah, man, it is nuts what's going on right now, man. Dude, they buried all that gold out there and they found it. Yeah, they've been for a long time, man. It's pretty crazy what's going on.
You know? What they are doing. If you haven't realized that they're criminals, maybe now that they stole all the Civil War gold, you will.
And they put out the other thing too is that they put out on Joe Rogan. Right now, we're so close, man. We're like working with NASA scientists. I'm working with Bueller and his team on developing this propulsion drive that he's come out with, and we're in the process of trying to replicate this and show that it works and blow like propulsion and anti-gravity out. Like we're so close to being there, to doing this, and this guy goes on Rogan and gets 5 million views, and everyone thinks that he's the guy that's got anti-gravity and all the solutions to like the universe and all these things figured out. And the reality is nobody does. Nobody's got all that shit figured out. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I don't claim to have any of that, all that shit figured out. I claim to have some real interesting people that come on here and talk to us that might have some of that stuff figured out or have some plausible answers to that stuff. And we invite the community. We've set up a community of scientists and technical experts to bring other people on to share their ideas and talk about, we can smoke some Joe Rogan coils, right? But does Jeremy know a thing about mod 9 equations? I could do mod anything, dude. I mean, whatever. Whatever. Anyways, yes, I could do all that stuff. So whatever. But we're gonna get there, man. This is the implosion tech. Yeah, that's Victor Schauberger, man. We've seen and heard all this stuff before, man.
It's part of
The proof is in the pudding. Either you're producing something that's an anti-gravity, or you're building helicopters, drones. All right.
Yeah.
It's the proof's
come on and tell us and give us your models to work with so we can apply them and see if they're revolutionary, and don't just claim that you have it all without sharing.
Dude, I got this
you're working with, right? Like,
it's scary, man. It's like I haven't done a stream because I've had this giant zit straight in the middle of my forehead for like 2 weeks now. It just will not go away. It's like they have a mark on my head, dude.
Shit, well, put on some glasses. You're good. There's the AI option. It just blurs your face.
1 times 1 is 2. What the fuck? No. 1 times 1 is 1, dude. I showed. Look, it's very, very easy. Let's just go over it one more time. So, and you can prove this works for any number. It works both ways. So it's commutative, like multiplication, man.
The simplest solution.
3 times 3. This is multiplication, and that's addition. Is you count them all up. It's very, very simple, man. So if you want to do, 2 times 4, you could do 2 and then 4 branches off each one. And you count them all up. There's 8, right? Or you could do 4 with 2 off each one, right? So that also equals 8. 8 and 8. So 1 times 1 is when you put them end on end. 1 plus 1 is when you put them next to each other and you count them. So that's
okay. Now do it in Roman numerals.
No, it's easier to do it in symbols, man. I mean, they made up these symbols, but it's easier to do it contextually with these what are called graphs. Graphs are great.
Wow, you can do it.
So 1 times 1, but 2 times 1 equals 2. Yes. Okay. Yes. Let's do 2 times 1, and 1 times 2 equals 2. So there's 2 ways to do 1 times 2, right? You can either do.
Actually,
You can either do 1 times 2 and just make a y.
You no longer need to do a decimal system if you're just using
1
numerals.
Right? And you just count them up. That's the same thing.
Fascinating.
But anyways.
Systems.
Someday, man. I just can't believe we're here. We've come so far, and yet we're here. We're here. But, hey, you know what? I'm going to go back on Danny Jones. It's going to happen.
The day is going to happen when you're going to be sitting there. I'm going to be sitting here, and I can like stick my arm through the camera, and I can like grab an apple next to you because you're going to create the portals or something. You know?
Yeah, right, dude. I know everyone's freaking out about this warp drive and portal technology. They think that MH370 was teleported, and man, I'm just like, I just want to prove the science of this stuff and get it working. I don't really. That's just a bunch of nonsense as far as I'm concerned. What was I going to say about the? You guys see Julian Dory, the new? Did you see the new one? So this came out, I think, today. On Julian Dory, he had my buddy Darcy Weir on 1 day ago. Check this.
It's like.
This is a good if you want a good podcast to listen to after this one's done. You checked out Terrence Howard already. Go watch Darcy Weir on the Julian Dory podcast. He starts talking about he talks about me and all my stuff too here. About
nice.
3/4 of the way through, at the 2-hour mark, he starts talking about all of my stuff too, which is awesome. So I got to get back on Danny Jones. Julian wants to have me on his podcast at some point. I'm going to do all these podcasts, make the rounds this summer, so we can get more of this information out there to some bigger audiences, seeing as Joe Rogan is too busy talking to big names with big claims, and I'm not one of those. So yeah, Jesse Michaels, we might if we can get the experiment set up here with the vacuum chamber and the Biefeld-Brown experiment test. Jesse Michaels said he would fly out here to go film that. And what is going on? Burn out of the possibility, but what?
No, you've like shown that in your claim you presented evidence showing contrary and why you're skeptical. And until given more information, Jeremy's taking the point that he doesn't believe it to be true.
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm being a gatekeeper? No, I'm not. Dude, these guys are gatekeepers. He's on Joe Rogan with 5 million views telling people that there's no such thing as zero and that, there's no such thing as straight lines and that, I can't do the same thing with Euclidean Cartesian coordinates that I can't do in spherical or cylindrical coordinates. Okay? I can do it in circular. And the equations are just different. There's math that he's missing. I'm not. All right.
Basically, Jeremy definitely knows what he's talking about. And, well, there's a lot of math in between it. And what Jeremy's asking for is Howard to come on and talk about that math and share it and apply it and give the models so that they can be attested and used and actually verify or do the scientific process and method of testing these claims that are so extraordinary.
I think what we're going to do soon, I love these rainbow quasi crystals. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell them on our website, but it's more going to be like a donation piece where you're buying this piece of artwork, but you're also you're donating to the lab. So I might sell them for like, I don't know, 50 or 100 just as these things are cool.
100%. They're so dope. That's a great
awesome.
way to.
I would love that on my desk. And then if it came with like a little plaque that says you donated to this to help fund anti-gravity research and stuff, heck yeah. So we're going to continue doing the work we're doing. I'm set up here. I'm just going to show off real quick what we got going on before I log off. I got this vacuum pump, turbo pump set up on this vertical stand to keep it vertically oriented. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put this Y connector on top with I'm going to glue this bell jar to the top with our apparatus, our high voltage apparatus inside. I'm going to build these electrets to test the Charles Bueller device. We're going to put them on the wings of this, and we're going to have a device that electrically can charge this up through the vacuum so that we can put power on here. And at the top, power will feed through one wire on the bottom. Is ground, and then the feed wire on the top with the hot so that we can charge up this thing and see if we can get propulsion spin in a turbo vac with under about 6 bars pressure. 6X vacuum or whatever it's called. And then I got this. We got an old airbrush. I got an airbrush gun here set up so I can airbrush. I'm going to put inside the pot here. I have a solution that I've made of, I've taken limonene and we dissolved styrofoam in the limonene to make a solution of dissolved limonene and basically styrofoam. So we can spray the styrofoam on and the styrofoam is dissolved in there and we can layer by layer with charge. So the spray gun that I have here is going to be hooked up to a high voltage system. We have our little Marks generator and a high voltage power supply here. So we're going to be electrically charging the spray out of the gun to make so we can spray layers of charged particles and try to maintain that the electric charge to form what are called electrets. So we're going to try to make our own electrets. We got that set up ready to do and try that. And I'm going to do that next week. And we're going to try to actually build some real propulsion anti-gravity technology and reproduce those NASA scientists' claims, and not just build a drone and tell people, if I build a drone that's a helicopter and I tell people that I have anti-gravity, free energy, and that this is how Jesus walked on water, that's not a form of gatekeeping, though. Okay. All right. Thank you for your support and understanding, everyone out there who has.
I believe he's chat because he super chatted the $10 asking the question originally to you on the zero and the Roman numeral aspect, and that there's a conundrum of it that he's stuck on. I'm sorry that
Hey, I don't.
wasn't
I
able
think
to
that
answer
I
it.
didn't see it, so it must have gone on your. The $10 must have been to
Oh
your.
no, it was the original on yours. This right?
Maybe they sent it to. I don't know. Thank you for the $10. Thank you for all the super chats.
Right
and,
there. That was the original.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry if you know we're gonna.
He
Yeah.
tried to answer it.
I tried, man. That's not an easy question. All right, it's not a
Right.
$10 question. That's like a $200 research paper, man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we're gonna keep dunking these bozos, man, and just trying to show people like where they can get a lot deeper information. Paper works better than styrofoam, huh? What kind of paper? Is there any special base? Any tissue paper? Construction paper?
Potentially is dielectric or
Cardboard paper. I mean, what kind of paper? There's lots of different types of paper. But yeah, that's an interesting. Thank you for that, old man builds. Because anyways, yes, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed
thanks for having me on, brother.
I hope if there's anything else before I go that we didn't cover that you'd like us to talk about, let us know, and we'll see if Terrence Howard responds to my email request for him to come on our podcast and present. So that'd be great if he could come on APEC and present, and we could really tear into this, and he could really, if he's strong, he come out on top,
come
man.
On.
Right.
Yeah,
bring it on. In any case, proving anything for free? What? Exactly what you just argued. I didn't ask for money. I said I was going to sell quasi crystals. I didn't. When did I ask for money? Where do you think I got money to fund all this lab and all this equipment? People are fucked, dude. Answer that one. I'll answer that one by blocking you. I don't care about your $10 super chat.
Right? I tried so hard.
People, dude, suck, man. Like, you're wrong. These people you've been listening to are fucking idiots, and they screwed you for money. And you should be ashamed of yourself for being so stupid. Okay? That's all I have to say. Thank you. And the crackheads are coming. And I'm going to end this now. So you don't have any logic. Oh, you listen to a dude who, come on, please. Jesus Christ. Go pick up a book on logic. Go pick up a goddamn educational book. Why don't you go get an education? Huh? Why don't you go learn some real math and science for a change, okay? You fell for bullshit. You got scammed by scammers and liars and frauds who pretend are charlatans. These people are charlatans. They pretend to have esoteric, deep knowledge of physics, science, and math, and they don't know shit. They're teaching you wrong information and bullshit. Okay? All right, then what are you saying? Who cares, dude? Whatever. Anyways.
Love you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting.
Yeah.
Jeremy's really working on stuff. Like, that's real science. This is real science. How can you hate?
We've been doing this so much longer, and we're on to real stuff, man. Okay. Yeah, definitely. The guy's having a mental breakdown. His entire worldview just shattered in front of. Oh my God, this alien scientist! You're a gatekeeper. How could you be shutting down? The world could be learning about anti-gravity and how Jesus walked on water, but you're blocking them. Anyways, yeah, Kurt Jamungle, man.
How is Jeremy in any way shut him down when he's asking him to come on and present on APEC, right? Like that's the end of it. It's like he's skeptical.
Yeah.
There's a lot of claims, and he's asking the guy to come on and present the information so the models can be tested.
Yes, Joe Rogan is the gatekeeper.
Oh, there is Howard. Okay, well, Terrence, we would love to have you on, so please do come on, and the invitation is open for you to come on because, well, there's a lot of claims. We're people working on it, and please come on, show us your models so we can use them.
Yes, and there's a big difference between talking shit and asking questions. Okay, you were talking shit. So that's why you got the response you did. All right. So, Keita, you're a chat hog, and yeah, thanks for the $10. Have a good night.
And Howard, how do we reach you? We would love to have you on APAC.
Yes, Terrence, bring it on, and show us. You know, I tried my best for 2 hours. You had 3. Please show me where I'm wrong. Show me where I got something messed up, and I love being proved wrong, and I love learning new stuff. I like learning new information, man. So yeah.
And
anytime.
I would love, Terrence, I would personally love to discuss
YouTube
all of this with you, and how all of Walter Russell's 20 different periodic tables plot off of the toroid model that is the overall quantum structure.
Yeah, we got to be careful about sharing information with him. This guy's a patent shark, dude. He'll definitely steal your patents, dude.
Oh, true. But come on, APEC, and let's make it happen.
This is that, like, I've proven how they're wrong. I've shown how they're wrong. Dude, like, I show you the real information, dude. There's nothing to do with ego. It has to do with education. Actually knowing real math, dude. I'm not the guy telling people square root of 2 equals 1. All right. But thanks. Have a great day. Yeah. All right, buddy. I'm not the one with an ego, bro. Like, seriously?